Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about Lesson 5, word problems about comparing. So we've done word problems. Yesterday we talked about the 4 steps, refer back to Lesson 4. You have to figure out what the problem's asking, plan what you're going to do to solve it, and then check your answers. Today we're going to be talking about comparing. Whenever we compare, we want to find the differences between two things. And we know that the answer to a subtraction problem is a difference. So if you think comparing, how are they different? Difference, subtraction. There are also 2 key phrases I want you to write down. They are how many more and how many fewer. Whenever you see those 2 key phrases in a word problem, you know you are going to subtract. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at example number 1. Example 1 is telling us that there are 324 girls and 289 boys in the school. How many fewer boys than girls were there in the school? Well, we know that whenever we subtract, we always have to start with the greater number. Let's try that again. Okay. And since it's asking us how many fewer, we're going to subtract. So we have 324 minus 289. Can't do 4 minus 9, so I have to borrow. 2 becomes a 1. 4 becomes 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. 1 minus 8 I can't do, so I have to borrow from the 3. Becomes a 2. 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. So there were 35 fewer boys. Now make sure you box the entire answer. Please don't just box the number, box the units or the words that go along with your answer. Okay? Another way to think of this is to think of a line. If we were to line up all of the girls in the school, and then we were to line up all of the boys in the school, okay, the girls line would be longer than the boys line. So this question is asking, if we were to match each boy and each girl together, how many girls wouldn't have a partner? There would be 35 girls without a partner, so there would be 35 fewer boys than girls. Just another way to visualize it over here is to kind of think about lining them up. Okay, let's go into example 2. We already talked about all this, so here we go. Example 2. How many years were there from the year Columbus landed in America in 1492 to the year the Pilgrims landed in 1620? Okay, when we're talking about time, think of it just like a number line. Okay, here's 2012, here's the present, and let's say here's 1912. 1812, 1712, 1612, 1512, and 1412, 4. Okay? So if we think of it as a number line, we know that as we move to the right on the number line, our numbers get bigger. So here we have the Pilgrims in 1620, and Columbus in 1492. Okay, how many years? It wants to know the difference between these two. How many years passed? So, just like on a number line, we start with the larger number. So we're going to start with 1612, and we're going to subtract 1492. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 9 I can't do. I have to borrow. This becomes a 5. 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So 120 years, don't forget those units, 120 years passed from the time Columbus landed in America until the Pilgrims came. Okay, all right, moving on to example 3. Skip all this. All right, Abraham Lincoln, one of our most famous presidents, was born in 1809 and died in 1865. How many years did he live? Again, we have the whole timeline concept. Okay, a little bit smaller scale this time. Instead of going by hundreds, we can go by tens. 1800, 1810, 1820, 1830, and so on until we get to 1870. So he died in 1865. He was born in 1809. So to find the difference between these, just like a timeline or a number line, we subtract. So 1865, your writing is, of course, much neater than mine. 1809, can't do 5 minus 9, borrow from the 6. 15 minus 9 is 6. 5 minus 0 is 5. So Abraham Lincoln was only 56 years old when he was assassinated. Okay, that's it for examples. Go ahead and complete the lesson practice and we will review this tomorrow.